Hello there. In November, I quit the game due to burnout. Enough with the game. I was putting in decent hours, but I wasn't interested. I came back to the game about a month ago, and as you can see, I've accumulated over 30 million coins. The purpose of this video is to show how I made that many coins through working the market and how you can emulate my success. As you can see here, I've mostly sold 88 pluses, and that's been the consistent hallmark of my strategy since I came back to NHL. The reason why I have done that is because when I'm on the market, what I like to do is I like to go straight to the 59th minute mark because although you have your fodder methods that work, such as picking, let's say 86 overall, you could pick 86 overall with the value that they are now and just sit and wait for something to pop up. However, the profit margin is low and it's inconsistent. The reason why I like to pick the general market is because the profit is overall much higher, although I consider to be a higher risk, higher reward because there's a lot more volatility in the market because you have to know what the values are overall. Whereas if you're picking a certain overall filter, which right now I would say the most consistent one is 89s, which right now I've been picking off 89 overalls for 30K and selling them consistently for 33. Because you have to keep in mind that if you aren't sniping this way by picking a filter, you can still get the good deals that people get through these filters, but you're not going to get them regularly if they're really good. If they're a couple K off, such as 30 to 33K for a K profit, you can still get them, but it's very inconsistent for something that's better. Because I can still get 20K profit, or I can still get them for 20K if I'm at the hour mark, if I'm sniping. But it's going to be wildly, wildly inconsistent depending on activity because they see the cards first and you don't know exactly when you're going to see them. Because you could see a card pop up when it's at 59 minutes and 57 seconds as opposed to right when it first is put up. And it doesn't matter how fast you are in terms of getting the card. It's not going to pop up immediately. Because the difference, I would say, in terms of how I can make coins through the market and others is I'll buy anything. I'm not selective. I will buy anything I can see profit on, although I'm not someone that invests. Part of the reason how I can make more coins than I do is I'm a coin hoarder. I don't invest in fodder whatsoever for resale, which is part of the reason why my coin total isn't as high as it could be. So what I would do, as you can see here, is I would go to the hour mark, as I consistently do. I would refresh and wait for something good to pop up. It takes a while to learn what things are going for. So what I would recommend is add items to watch list. You get an idea of what things sell for. If something looks like a good price and you don't know, you can see, oh, will this item sell or not? Because the majority of the items I was buying, yes, I'll get great deals. I will get an MSP 91 sharpshooter, for example. I would get them for 100K, sell them for 200K. Great deals. Some of those types of deals would be up for more than a minute right when I'm going on the market because people didn't know what they were worth. There are deals that slip through the cracks like that, but it's wildly inconsistent. I would say that the majority of my deals actually were cards that aren't fodder that are valued at fodder prices. Before the bottom stunk out of the 88 overalls, I was getting a lot of them at good prices. For example, 88 Lane Hudson, getting them for 15 and 20K, selling for 40. So what I would recommend on that is look at the market on those types of cards and see what the best value cards are of those types of overalls and look for them specifically. Because I like looking at those types of cards right when they pop up because I know that a lot of people that post them up don't know what they're worth. So that's the best opportunity to get a good deal. Because, for example, that's a good deal. That's a really good profit. I was slow on that one, but that is going to be worth at least 450 or 500,000, maybe more. Because, for example, that's a huge profit, and that is something I got just by doing the video here. It takes a lot of time to make the coins like I do, because I have had many claims in the past about you spend money, you do Photoshop with your coins, all that sort of thing. Whereas I've been working the market on and off since NHL 13. I've done it in all sports games, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas it's one of those things where you have to adjust to the market. You have to look for the trends. I will use the fodder methods, which commonly during the off hours, let's say midnight Eastern time to 6 a.m. for actually, I would suggest you do it for lower overalls right now because everyone will pick 88s, 89s, 90s, 91s. So if you want to do it, you can make a couple K profit on 86s and 87 overalls right now. That's what I would suggest because if you could make a K or a K and a half a card, that would definitely be recommended because I've with especially with those lower overalls, I find that people will post multiple of them at a time. Especially in the inactive hours, you can have strings where you get 10 of them at a time. You because you end up getting all of them at once, which ends up being ridiculous. Of course, if that sort of thing happens, it's not something that's likely, but it's something that's possible. One thing also to look out for is early in the year, speed is at a premium. So look for cards that hold a premium on their overall with their speed and their offensive stats compared to their defense. An historical example would be guys like Duchesne, Taylor Hall, Patrick Kane, and guys with size. Obviously, Charo is a good example. Dejorov was a good example. Because if you can figure out those types of archetypes that hold value, you have an advantage when new cards are released. Because when a new card comes out, of course, they will hold a premium. Because you want to know when a new card that was just released at 5 p.m. Eastern comes out, if it's a good deal, so you can resell quickly. Because my whole method is I don't want my items to sit for a long time. I want them to keep selling because I want to keep generating profit. I don't want things to sit. I want to keep moving my coins because I don't want to increase my chances of losing money. I know that in doing that, the market may shift and I may have to deal with this sunk cost fallacy. But that's the price I pay because it minimizes my chances of losses at the cost of potential returns, but that is how I operate. Another thing I would say when it comes to the market is in past years, it was very easy to time it with regards to a champ's rewards and rivals rewards. Obviously, now the best times are on Fridays when events drop and there's a small amount of an uptick when you're dealing with champs rewards, but those packs are minimal now because the main focus is around your card, which for a lot of people these days is used for set fodder, even season fodder right now. Most of the time, we're looking at when large packs come out, which has a small uptick for those that will spend money and put up a few cards. Because not enough people are spending money that it causes much of a long-term impact. It will cause an immediate impact, then the market will correct afterwards. So that is something to pay attention to. Because the main thing is generally pay attention to what are needed in sets.